The following video is brought to you by the guys at the Wrecking and Racing Podcast, a NASCAR podcast made by the fans for the fans. Check them out at www.wreckingandracing.com, facebook.com/wreckingandracing, and Twitter at Wrecking and Racing. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. We are at the night race at Daytona, and if you happen to be actually at the night race in Daytona this Saturday, look up Wrecking and Racing. They are actually at the track this weekend here in Daytona. They're in Daytona. Meet up with them, chit chat. Brandon is one half of the Wrecking and Racing podcast team, so if you want to chit chat with Brandon on how this season's going for him, feel free to swing on by. But let's focus on the race at hand, 2.5 mile, and it's going to be pretty tight. I think these AI cars like to really dice amongst one another at this modified open speedway. It's, I think, Daytona Night VR, so the AI handle just a little bit differently than the standard Daytona cars. So green flag is out. Let's see how we do here, tucked up behind the 22 of Joey Logano on the start. We'll see Kyle Busch's, already a wreck. Kurt Busch around. I don't think we got any damage. The yellow flag will be out. Let's race back to the line here. Anything we can do to improve our position will be good. And we can't pit now and make it the rest of the way on fuel, so I'm definitely going to stay out this caution. I don't know if any of the other AI cars will, if any of the other AI cars will pit this time. If they do, I'm not coming down. Indeed, no damage, so no reason for me to come down. I don't even know if those leaders are going to make it back around. They are fighting amongst themselves. 3 and looks like 4 wide. Someone might be up there scraping the wall. If they crash, we'll have plenty of room to get around them. That should be fine. But we've made up a few spots here on the start. We're not going to get any more, but we're not going to lose any either. Yellow flag is out. We will get caught back up to the caution car. Pace car is off. Green flag is in the air. Let's see if we can get a jump on Kyle Larson here. We got a pretty good run. Let's get to the inside. Daniel Suarez moves under Jamie Murray. Let's see if we can get a run on the 19 here. Maybe get pulled up by the 24. Fourth gear. Here we go around the bottom. So far, so good. On the bottom 3 wide here, Eric Almirola is leading the first laps of the season. Pretty good run for Eric. Don't know if he'll be able to maintain this pace, as the plate tracks are difficult to maintain your spot, but we're following the 24 here. We should be able to get a run to the inside. And Byron is sort of giving us the lane. We'll stick our nose in there. Outstanding on the bottom, getting a run off the Eric Almirola machine. Let's stay as close as we can to the yellow line. Speaking of yellow, all right, yellow flag is out again, and we'll pit this time.
Kind of got a couple cars stuck on the bottom here from the dog leg.
Coming down pit road, we're looking for our stall. We're in stall 19, just past the start finish line. I went with no tires this time, just fuel only. So here we go. There's our NASCAR official. That's how you can tell the difference. All right, good stop here. We'll have to get around the 88 of Alex Bowman. Green, 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 let's go. Watch the 22. Outstanding, got a pretty good run, 3,500 in second gear. And we should get off pit road first. Looks like most of them took right, so we will line up back in the lead.
Go hard. Stay behind the pace card.
Pace car is off. We have the lead, and we do have enough fuel. I rode in third gear and clutched it around the track to make sure that we did have enough. And let's see if we can get a launch on these guys and maintain. It's really tough to maintain the lead on a plate track if the run starts to come, and Brandon is peeking back there, so we'll have to hold off a few different rows. And as you saw, there are a few retirements so far, and here's some more. Yellow flag is back out again. So we have to race back to the line, and Brandon with a huge run to the inside. He'll get to the door. There's really not much we can do to fend off that run. We might be able to get a slingshot off of turn 4. Let's get right behind him, see if we can pick up the speed. If we had a few more laps, we might be able to get some momentum behind us, but it looks like Brandon will take the lead coming to lap 10. So we will have 8 laps to go. Probably 6 when we come back around, and we'll see what happens after the fact.
Still haven't got the pace car yet. Go get the pace card. Stay behind. 27.
Pace car is about to duck off, and it looks like guys like Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin will have a massive points hit. Bowman does have a win, so he isn't as bad as Denny Hamlin, and Hamlin was on the outside looking in last week, and this will not be good for him here. So 5 laps to go. Brandon right out in front of us. We'll see if we can get a run, get some momentum going behind us, see if we can catch him here. And eventually, there will be so few cars that they won't crash. This is pretty interesting. So many crashes and so many cars out of the race. Ask and ye shall receive. Yellow flag is back out again. And I think we'll have enough laps to get it restarted. And if it is a green and white checker finish, the green and white together, then it doesn't matter if they crash on the last lap because we are finishing the race under green. So at least we may have a green flag finish. But yeah, I can't close up on Brandon this time around. We'll have to really get a better restart if we do go back racing. So just one moment.
Go ahead, you caught up. Stay behind. 27.
Pace car is coming off for 1 lap to go. It is a green and white together. So this is all or nothing. Let's see if we can get Brandon here on the start. Green flag, he gets a little bit better of a start. We might be able to pull up to him though. Go as far as I can up the rev limiter. We need to get everything we can out of this. Hopefully William Byron helps me out and pushes me forward. If Brandon gets a big run, he might be a sitting duck here. There's still a chance. Brandon just hit 4th gear, so we're getting up to speed a little bit quicker. We just need a good pull down the backstretch. And William Byron looks out. That's not what we need to do, William. Brandon goes down to block and actually starts pulling William Byron up. Chase Elliott looks to the outside. Chase Elliott having a good run tonight. And we might be pulling him just a bit. Let's push William Byron down. He actually phased through our mirror just a bit. We're that close. I am not going to give up an inch here. I'm at least going to finish second if we can't win. Side by side, down to the bottom, and I think we got him. Let's check official timing and scoring here. Yes, William Byron, 1/100th of a second behind us, and that's as close as NASCAR racing keeps. So, you know, pretty close indeed. So a wreck-filled evening where there was only 1 green flag lap finished. We only came back to the line under green once in the 18 laps. So unfortunately, that's the way sometimes these plate races go. You get a lot of wrecks and then cautions breed cautions. Everyone tries to go on the restart, gets into someone else. It kind of reminds me of the Bud Shootout, the real Bud Shootout to start the year. Those guys were wrecking like crazy, bouncing off of one another, just pushing each other around with the air. So, you know, not the best result, not the best finish, not the best racing. But if you were a fan up in the stands and you loved wrecking and carnage, then tonight was definitely your night. But at least that gives us something to talk about after the race is over. We can go back and look at all the things that brought out these yellow flags. Because if my race was ruined due to all of these yellows, I want to know whose fault it was. And you can see down to 22nd is retired. All right, so let's go to the race, and it started on the start, really. It literally was the start of the race. Let's back up and see if there were any other wrecks after the one on the start. It looks like a pretty clean rest of the lap. But, oh, wow. I see Kurt Busch sideways. Let's get up to old Kurt. See what happens to him on the start. So Larson and Johnson were in trouble, came down into Joey Logano. And, wow, Ricky Stenhouse hits a ton into the side of Kurt Busch. Newman takes to the grass, but no damage. So not too awful bad here. Let's go forward through this next caution until we get to the start of the next lap. Now, I believe this one took a bit to happen. We were actually coming off of turn 3, I believe, whenever this caution broke out. Still under green here, a nice tight pack. And I don't think it happened right behind us, so I don't think it was McMurray and Boyer. There goes Brandon looking to the outside. Whoa, there it was. So right behind us, Kyle Larson and Clint Boyer. So McMurray was pushing Clint Boyer, got Boyer turned into Suarez, which shot Larson hard into the wall. Yeah, hooked Larson right there. Oh, and Larson flipping over on his lid. That's very reminiscent of Jeff Gordon. The only time Jeff Gordon has flipped a car was at the night race at Daytona. And that kind of looks like what Jeff Gordon did. Instead of 42, it was 24, but Larson clips Harvick just a little bit there. And yeah, I could see him retire after that one. Trevor Bayne into the grass. Ricky Stenhouse doesn't have a hood. And we got clear of that one. That's when we came down pit road and were the leader. And then Brandon passed us, so the yellow flag must have came out on the lap before. Of course it did. We went green and yellow. All right, let's go ahead and speed up, and there's a gaggle of cars there. Brandon gets to the inside of Suarez clean. He gets a run off the top and shoots right down to the bottom. And wow. So the crash had happened, and there goes Logano flipping like crazy. So it starts up there with Denny Hamlin, actually. Let's get up there to Denny. So is it Kyle Busch? Yeah, Kyle Busch turns the 13 down into the 11. The 11 gets into Bowman, turns Johnson. Johnson gets sent around, and oh, man, Ryan Newman does not stop at all and gets into the side of Joey Logano. Wow, that was a hit for sure. Yeah, so that is a massive hit for Joey Logano. Let's see how fast Ryan Newman was actually going. Come on, where's old Ryan through here? Fine, make me do it the old-fashioned way. There you are. So Ryan Newman was speeding along at a brisk 140 miles an hour when he plows into the side of Joey Logano and then slides up. I imagine his front tire really locked up, almost sliding back up into the track. Wow. So let's go forward then to the, I guess it would be the last lap of the race. No, there would be one more wreck after this. So let's go to the next lap. I believe the green flag was out. Nope, lap 13, please. There's the green. All right, so green flag was out again. Once again, the cars are behind us are really packed together. Okay, just making sure, because I thought the yellow flag was out by this point, but maybe not. No, the green flag is definitely still out, but I imagine, yep, right there, into Truex. Truex up into the wall, into Chris Buescher. The Penske cars down there, Paul Menard and Ryan Blaney get in together, and that's what dropped Martin Truex Jr. out of the top 10. He's been running consistently in the top 10 all year and did not get a top 10 this evening. So then that set us up for the one lap to go shootout. And here we go, green flag. Let's watch. William Byron gets a run off of us around the 20 of Eric Jones. We'll be coming down the front stretch here, picking up speed. We've got the push from William Byron, and here comes Chase into the picture under the 20 of Eric Jones, who's having a good run this evening, as well as Eric Almirola being pressured by Kyle Busch there. And then there's the Hendrick teammates working together. William Byron trying to get under us. And then Chase actually abandons him and goes to the high lane, which I imagine that allowed us to keep our fender right there. We can sort of force him down, force air onto his back spoiler, trying to keep that side draft going. Coming off of turn 4 here, Brandon goes to the top, all the way back down to the bottom. And there we go, fighting back. Now let's see this frame by frame and see how close it was between myself and William Byron. So there's Brandon taking the checkers, and we go across by a fender. So that's what 1/100th of a second looks like. Well, let's take a look at the standings. So Brandon notches his 6th win of the year. We're in second with 5. Suarez is clear by 100 points now, but that cutoff has tightened up even more. Brad is your cutoff driver. Jimmy Johnson 4 points out looking in. Chase Elliott with a massive points boost, up 17 points ahead. But there, between 12th and 18th, it is still a very tight race as far as that cutoff goes. But Denny Hamlin is now 1 race out, as well as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. But that's going to do it for me and this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you for the 1.5 miles at Kentucky. Take care.